moves this offseason, Coach is out, the free agency rumors are hot, and one Fever player just joined Unrivaled.
Probably could have given ourselves a little bit better of a chance to try to get it to a game 3 to give our fans an opportunity to cheer us on here at home, and that's kind of what stunk about it. But
WNBA draft is this huge success, and it's like anybody that's paying attention, like, this is the biggest star in sport.
You know what's crazier than a buzzer beater? The Fever just fired Coach Sides right after she got them to the playoffs. I mean, talk about a plot twist. It's like they're playing musical chairs with the coaching staff, but the music stopped and Sides was left standing. But here's the thing, this move might actually be brilliant, or it could be a total disaster. We're about to dive into all the reasons why, and trust me, it's gonna blow your mind. You thought the playoffs were exciting? This offseason drama is where the real action's at. Picture this. The Indiana Fever are 1-8 to start the season. Fans are losing their minds, calling for Coach Christie Sides to get the boot. It's looking like another year of disappointment for Fever faithful. But then something magical happens. Caitlin Clark, the rookie sensation, joins the squad, and suddenly it's like someone flipped a switch. The team starts clicking like never before. Clark's energy is infectious, and her court vision is next level. She's dishing out assists like they're going out of style, and her teammates are feeding off that energy. Suddenly, the Fever go on an absolute tear, winning 19 of their next 31 games. It's like watching a completely different team out there. You want clutch moments? How about Kelsey Mitchell draining a 3 with 0.8 seconds left to beat the Sky? Or Nalissa Smith pulling down a crucial offensive rebound and putting it back up to seal a win against the Mystics? This team was playing with heart, and Coach Sides had them believing they could beat anyone. The stats don't lie, folks. Under Sides, the Fever went from dead last in offensive rating to top 10 in the league. Their points per game jumped from a measly 77.8 to a respectable 84.3. And defensively, they went from giving up 89.9 points per game to just 84.5.
Coach Christie Sides, it didn't seem like there was any bad blood between her and players. It didn't seem like the team had locker room issues.
Wanting to be like them. So I think continuing to uplift and, represent this league in a positive way is the best thing that we can do. That's great, and you have an opportunity to come back the next game and, try to play a little bit better and give yourself a chance to take it back home and win.
That's the kind of improvement that turns heads. But here's where it gets really interesting. As the season's winding down, everyone's wondering, will this incredible turnaround be enough to save Sides' job? The team's playing with confidence, they're in the playoff hunt, and it seems like Coach Sides has found the magic formula. And then it happens. The Indiana Fever clinch a playoff spot for the first time since 2016. The drought is over, fans are going wild, players are celebrating, and it feels like the start of something big in Indiana. Coach Sides has done what seemed impossible at the beginning of the season. But hold up. Before we start planning the parade, there's a question that's hanging over everything like a dark cloud. In the WNBA, where the competition is fierce and expectations are sky high, is just making the playoffs enough? Sure, it's a huge step forward for the Fever, but in a league where championships are the ultimate goal, is this turnaround really as impressive as it seems? That's the million-dollar question, folks, and it's one that the Fever front office had to wrestle with. On one hand, you've got a coach who took a struggling team to the playoffs. On the other, you've got a franchise with a history of success and a fan base hungry for more than just a postseason appearance. It's a tough call, and one that would shape the future of the franchise. So, as we dive into the aftermath of this roller coaster season, keep that question in mind. Was making the playoffs enough, or is there more to this story than meets the eye? Buckle up, because things are about to get even crazier in Feverland. You thought the Fever season was a wild ride?
The way that the Indiana Fever parted ways with Coach Christie Sides had a lot of people wondering what was really going on behind the scenes.
These rookies have put on quite a season, and it's not just Caitlin and Angel, Rickea Jackson and other rookies are killing it this year.
I feel like the best thing that I've tried to live by is to just be the same person that I am off the court, whether I'm, leaving my apartment every single day or whether I'm here sitting in front of all of you.
Well, hold on to your seats, because the offseason is about to make that look like a kiddie coaster. 6 WNBA teams are hunting for new coaches right now. 6! That's almost half the league. What's going on here? And why is everyone hitting the panic button? It's like the WNBA decided to play musical chairs with their coaching staff, and nobody wants to be left standing when the music stops. Teams are scrambling to find that perfect leader who can take them to the promised land. But here's the kicker. In this league, good isn't good enough anymore. These teams aren't just looking for someone to guide them to the playoffs. They want championships, and they want them now. Speaking of championship dreams, let's talk about the rumors swirling around Stephanie White. Remember her? She's the former Fever coach who led them to the finals back in 2015. Well, guess what? There's buzz that she might be coming back to Indiana, but here's where it gets crazy. White just took the Connecticut Sun to the semifinals. So why would she leave a contender to come back to the Fever? White's got history with Indiana. She played for the Fever, she was an assistant coach there, and she knows what it takes to win in this league. But more importantly, she knows how to develop young talent. And with Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston on the roster, that's exactly what the Fever need right now. But let's be real for a second. The pressure to win in the WNBA is through the roof, especially for teams with young superstars. The Fever's president of basketball operations, Kelly Krauskopf, didn't mince words when she said, "It is imperative that we remain bold and assertive in the pursuit of our goals, which includes maximizing our talent and bringing another WNBA championship back to Indiana." That's a pretty clear message. It's championship or bust.
She did a great job from the team. Now, me personally, I was never as much of a Christie Sides hater as I feel like a lot of people were.
That's I've been waiting all season. And I know Aaliyah Boston has been supportive of Caitlin Clark, but Aaliyah Boston has a different personality.
For myself, like coming in, right off my college season and then coming right to the WNBA, having that reset has been something that I probably haven't had in like a year.
So here's the million-dollar question. Will the Fever sacrifice stability for a big-name coach? It's a risky move, no doubt. Since Lynn Dunn's tenure from 2008 to 2014, no Fever head coach has lasted more than 3 years. That's a lot of turnover, and it can mess with a team's development. But with talents like Clark and Boston, maybe it's a risk worth taking. Speaking of Clark, this coaching change could have a huge impact on her development. She's already shown she can ball at the pro level, but the right coach could turn her into a superstar. Imagine Clark running an offense designed by someone like Stephanie White. It could be the difference between Clark being a great player and becoming a legend. But here's the thing. This isn't just about X's and O's. It's about building a winning culture, developing young talent, and bringing a championship back to Indiana. The Fever are at a crossroads, and this coaching decision could shape the franchise for years to come.
I like what she did with the girls on her team. I feel like they all got along. I feel like that was a challenge in itself to be able to lift.
Maybe after game 4, maybe game 5 is like, these lessons are really going to pay off for us in the end when we get down the stretch, and I think they certainly did.
Wants to scream Black Lives Matter, wants to push some sort of political agenda. She just wants the ball.
So, what does all this coaching chaos tell us? The WNBA is in full-on win-now mode, and the Fever's move proves it. They're not messing around anymore. But here's the million-dollar question. Are all these coaching changes actually good for the league? On one hand, it keeps things exciting and shows teams are hungry for success. On the other, it's hard to build something lasting when you're constantly starting over. The Fever's next move is crucial. They need someone who can unlock Clark and Boston's potential while building a championship culture. So, who's it going to be? Stephanie White with her Indiana history and player development skills? Or will they shock us all with a wild card pick? The ball's in your court now. Who do you think should be the next Fever coach?